Calm down now, Jane. Speak a little slower. Oh. When did he start having these pains? Continuous or intermittent? Oh, you should have called sooner. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Right. Best nurse I ever had. I want you to know that, Ted.
Son, please, son, please.
I know, old friend. But the pain, but it'll be gone soon. That's a promise.
certainly is beautiful.
Hey, Jim.
Elias, how you doing?
Couldn't be better. Couldn't
Good
be better.
to see you. Sure is beautiful.
Yeah. We got the cover of Country Gardens last fall.
I know. Doc sent me a copy. And he gave you all the credit.
Why not? I do all the work, don't I?
And he does all the planning, doesn't he? Talk to you later.
Good to see you back, Jim.
Good to be back.
Excuse me. Could you tell Dr.
Hello, Mr. Tennyson. I mean, Dr. Tennyson. Welcome home. Janie Roush.
I don't believe it.
Have 5 years made that much difference?
Certainly has.
Oh, thank you. I think. Doc has been waiting and waiting for you to come.
Is he very busy?
Well, he's always busy, but you go right in, Jimmy. Can't wait to see you.
There you are. Made especially for Billy. Leonard S. Cook, M.D. Now, you take care of that autograph. Very valuable.
Will I still be able to play baseball?
Oh, yes. Look at here. You see this? The day the cast comes up, that's yours.
Wow!
Want me to bring in some more firewood, Doc?
Jim! Heaven's sakes, look at you.
Look at you. You look great.
About time you kept your word, you ungrateful
Every
bastard.
summer I planned to come, and
I
every summer
know.
there was a chance to earn next year's tuition or get a year ahead in school.
And then you had to finish your internship.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're delighted, just delighted you're here. Dora has your room all ready, and we're counting on a long visit.
You may never get rid of me.
Hey, Billy, when Dr. Tennyson was your age, he broke his arm, too. Oh, much worse than yours, and look at him now, stronger than ever.
I fell down the steps. How'd you break yours? Did you fall?
You keep asking questions, you know. You're never gonna get well. I don't want to see you again for another couple of weeks. There you go. Ah, 2 weeks now. Take care. That kid's nosier than you used to be, Jim.
I haven't thought about my father for years.
Think about your mother. Oh, Jimmy, she'd have been mighty proud of you. Look, stay put just a minute, will you? I have some notes to make.
Always put your notes down first chance you get. Next chance may not come till who knows when.
You still remember?
I remember many things, Doc. This town, how peaceful and quiet it is. And you, your garden. This house, hanging around here almost every day after school, dreaming of growing up to be like you. I guess it's all a part of my life.
You don't know how proud I am to hear you say that.
It's all true, Doc. Every bit of it.
Jimmy, I got a room full of patients out there and a lot of house calls to make. You know how it is on Fridays. Tell what you do. Get all settled in and we'll have a nice long visit. Just like old times, huh?
Sure.
Great. Well, Jimmy, welcome home.
Thanks, Doc.
Welcome home, Jim. Have I changed that much in 5 years? Essie Bullitt.
Essie. Essie, how are you? How's Harry?
Fair enough. My pop died 4 years ago.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I saw the new school. Someone being funny, naming it for Lloyd Zachary.
That was Doc's idea. Well, he said we should forgive the old skinflint.
Okay. Leave it to Doc.
Believe me, I know how much Doc's missed you. It's so nice to have you home, Jim.
How is he, Dora? Be honest, your letter scared me. Has he had any more trouble? Another attack?
Doc's almost 70. He's got this whole town on his shoulders. If I question him about his health, he says, "You're my housekeeper, not my doctor." Oh, Jim, I'm so worried about that man. He's willful, stubborn, and he won't slow down.
Maybe it wasn't a heart attack.
All I know is what I wrote you in that letter. He had a spasm, and then he took a pill. I saw it from the back porch. That was 4 weeks ago.
I came as soon as I could.
I'm glad you did, Jim. Doc's not well.
Seems as sharp as ever to me, Dora.
He needs help. He needs someone to share the load.
There's nothing I'd rather do. You know that, Dora. If you have.
You're almost his son. Of course he'll have you.
Return to Dr. Cook's Garden on the Sci-Fi Channel.
My father used to love flowers.
Used to.
You didn't know? He died last month of a coronary.
I'm sorry. Really sorry. He was very special. One of my favorite people.
Yeah, I remember that. I was quite a handful, believe me. In and out of trouble 10 times a week. And when Mom died, there was only him. He was always there. He was like a rock. It was quite a shock, Jim.
Were there any indications? Usually are in a coronary.
None. His card's in the file. You can look at it if you want to. I always thought he was the healthiest man in the world.
What did Doc have to say?
What could he say? Dad usually came over to pick me up after office hours were over, and that day he said he wanted to talk with Doc. So I went home by myself. He stayed and talked with him about an hour, came home. 7 o'clock the next morning, he was dead.
Checking up on the old man, Jim?
No, Doc. Just learning how it's done.
I'll be all yours in a few minutes. Just want to make some notes here. While I was out, I stopped in at the Bullock.
I saw Essie board at the cemetery. I didn't recognize her. She looked so terrible.
The darn mother of hers. She's going to kill them all if something isn't done. Whose card do you have there?
Jane's father. He really had no warning. Not a sign. That's my father.
No, your father was alcoholic. You expect trouble there. I'll be through with this in a minute. I just want to get it down while it's fresh in my mind. But Ted's coronary came right out of the blue. But I keep thinking if I'd have seen him that day, you know.
What changed?
Hmm? I'm almost through here.
You know, it's interesting some of the prescriptions you give for your diagnosis, Doc.
Oh, yeah? Medicine is interesting.
I've never seen some of these symbols and abbreviations you use, like what does R mean?
R?
Yeah, right here on Jane's father's card. The line before coronary. R.
Oh, rest. I guess I told him to rest.
Right.
What are you doing, grading my records? You want to pass? What's your diagnosis, doctor? Oh, I gotta make some room in here someday. But right now, I want to talk about you, Jimmy. James Tennyson, M.D., Doctor of Medicine. I can still see that little kid around here running errands for me. You going to specialize, Jimmy? You decided where you want to practice?
Oh, I decided that a long time ago, Doc, right here in Greenfield. If you'll have me.
Oh, no, I think you'd be a fool to come back here. You know, a young fella like you, brainy, you'd make a fortune in a specialty.
You didn't specialize.
Well, I was a depression doctor. I couldn't afford it. But you, no, I would hate to see you waste your talents like that, not you. I know, Dora's been talking to you, huh? She told you about that little attack of gastritis I had a couple of weeks back. Am I right?
Yeah, well, she mentioned it.
Oh, well, she's a worrier, that's all. I'm in fine shape, and I'm not going to let you ruin your future because of me. No, sir.
That's what I want, Doc. That's what I've always wanted.
Jimmy, you don't know what it would be like to practice medicine here in Greenfield. No one to consult with but an old fogey like me. The nearest hospital 30 miles away. Is that what you want?
I guess so.
Well, I think it's great that you want to come back, and I do know you're a good doctor, but...
Not for Greenfield.
I'm sorry, Jimmy.
Why?
Well, Greenfield is my town. It belongs to me. I just couldn't share it with anybody, Jimmy. Not even you. I love this town, Jimmy, and when you love something, you make it your own.
All Doc's doing. Were you really surprised?
You bet. Thanks, Doc.
Well, you know me. Any excuse for a party.
What do you think of Greenfield now?
Paradise. You believe in the rest of the country they've actually got things called crime and violence?
Well, not here they won't. Not while I'm constable.
You?
Oh, I'm no fool. You know, before I put him up to the other selectmen, I made him promise to go on taking care of the garden. You better keep checking those tags, too, or I'll get you fired.
Food's on the table. Everyone help themselves.
Shall we?
Don't you think you ought to eat something, Essie?
No?
I tell you, Jim, this town is blessed. Good Lord watches over it.
He means Doc.
No, I mean the Lord. And he takes for a reason. I mean, for example, George Suggs. And there was Rudy's poor sick baby. Like that Legion picnic 2 years ago.
What happened?
350 of us could have died that day. That's how many of the sandwiches there were. We all came through with only upset stomachs.
Sounds like Doc's work to me.
Well, of course it was. But you know who died that day? The only one? Lloyd Zachary. That was a hand of God.
Well, we'd still have the 3 one-room schools if Zachary hadn't died.
You know how long he fought that new school? 20 years.
I think Elias is right. I think we do have a guardian angel watching over us.
Somebody mention my name?
Has anyone seen Essie?
Oh, she's inside. Crosby's trying to keep her away from the booze. Why?
Phone call. Her mother.
Goodbye, Doctor. Bye.
Maybe we do have that guardian angel.
I never really thought about it when I used to live here, but it's as if someone put a fence around the town. Nice people live to a ripe old age, and the mean ones all seem to die off.
Oh, that's funny, Jim. My dad was talking to me about the same thing the day before he died.
The same day he came to see Doc?
Oh, you know what, Martin? Is out here with my friends.
Listen, maybe she is sick.
Oh, what? My mother just can't stand us having a good time, that's all. You know what I wish? I wish she was dead. I just can't help it. I wish she was dead.
Honey, you know you don't mean that.
Oh, God, forgive me, but I do.
Honey, please.
Nothing. Nothing has been the same since the day my father died and she moved in with us.
We have to go. We have to go home. Go home, Essie. Come on.
It's the trouble, Dad.
work out. That's a promise. Come on.
Come on. Is Essie's mother really that bad?
It's worse.
I think I'm going to drop over there.
Oh, why, Doc? You know her and her complaints.
Maybe she is sick this time.
Here's someone else, another one with an R on it. Susan McClure.
Oh, I remember that poor thing. She was totally helpless by the age of 2.
Dead by the age of 3.
Jim, what are you looking through the cards for?
I don't know. Probably nothing. You sure you don't know what R means?
I'll have to ask Doc. He's the methodical one.
George Suggs, Lloyd Zachary, Susan McClure. Oh, Rudy's child. All troublemakers in one way or another, and all dead.
Death. People do die, Jim.
Including your father.
You saw. Dad had a coronary.
I know, Jim, but that's not what I'm after.
Jim, please, what's on your mind?
I told you I don't know any more than I know why Doc said he hadn't seen your father that day when you know he had.
He forgot, that's all. It can happen at his age, you know.
Yeah, but so much seems to have happened.
Jim, you came here to see my father's card, that's all. Jim, what are you really looking for?
I wish I knew.
Well, I'm not sure I want to wait around until you do know.
Hey, wait a second. Look, Jane, look.
He saved more lives in this town than you'll ever see.
All right, all right.
I love Doc. He is a beautiful, wonderful man. You've got no right to
I
give
do
him...
have a right because I love him and I'm concerned.
Concerned for whom?
For the town, for him, for you. I mean that, I really do.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Tags? I'm having dinner and you want to know about tags?
Please, Elias. Tell me what they mean. The letters on the tags.
Well, that's how Doc tells me what to do, now that I don't come on regular days anymore. P for prune, T for transplant. Like that.
All right. What does R stand for?
You could ask Doc, you know.
I'm asking you, Elias. Please, it's important. What does R stand for?
Remove. R for remove. Sick plants, hurt plants, you pull them out. That's what keeps the garden looking so perfect all the time.
Remove.
That's right.
Now return to Bing Crosby in Dr. Cook's garden.
Is this how you spend your days?
3-year-old files, Doc.
Anyone in particular?
My father.
Not going to help to dig up old sorrows, Jim. Come on, let's go upstairs. I don't mind telling you I'm family.
Doc, on your record, what does R stand for?
You still going on about that? It means rest.
Marion Booth. 15 months old and a helpless invalid. Did you tell her to rest?
Well, it means something else with relation to children. It means repeat, like a treatment or prescription that I gave before. Well, let's have lunch, huh? Oh, you know what I think it'd be nice, Jim? After church tomorrow, if we went on a picnic. We could talk like we used to when you were a kid. What's bothering you, Jimmy?
This may sound crazy, Doc, but you know what I think R stands for?
I told you. It means rest, or repeat.
Or remove.
Oh, in the garden, yes, but not here. That'd be ridiculous, Jimmy. Why would I want to put remove on one of my patients' records? You remove plants, not people. Not that I wouldn't like to lots of times, believe me.
It's your bottom shelf, Doc.
What about my bottom shelf?
I read the Latin now, Doc. You've got more poison there than my St. Louis hospital has with 6 floors and an annex.
Oh, yes, I suppose I do have a lot more poison than seems necessary, but, you know, we don't get fresh supplies every day like the big hospitals, Jim. I've got more bandages up there, too, than you'd think necessary, but this is a little town, you know, and we're likely to get snowbound more winters than not.
Kinds of poison, Doc. You've got things there's no reason to have. Level with me? Have you removed anybody?
Wouldn't surprise me. You've seen how I run them in and out of here on Saturdays.
Intentionally, Doc. I mean intentionally, for some reason or other.
You know, if that's a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to bug you, Doc. But I need an answer.
No, Jimmy. No, I haven't. I haven't removed anybody.
Everybody seems to think this town is blessed because the right people die.
So do the wrong people. Just like everywhere else. Oh, Jimmy. Jimmy, I know. I ought to be shocked to have you accusing me of killing off my patients, but I just can't believe you're serious. Where'd you ever get such an idea?
I saw the R on one of the tags, and Elias told me where to search for it.
In the garden, huh? Did he tell you what T stood for?
Transplant?
Mm-hmm. You'll find a lot of cards in my files with T on them, too, but I don't remember transplanting any of my patients. A lot of them had tetanus shots, though.
Here you are. Your lunch has been ready for 10 minutes.
Oh?
You have patients waiting. You promised Janie a drive in the country.
I'm sorry, Dora. We started talking about the garden.
Yeah, and planning a picnic for the moment. Just like old times, huh?
It'll do you good to relax and change. You've been so busy this morning, I haven't even been able to ask you how Elsie Bullett's mother is today.
Not so good, not so good. Her blood pressure's way up. You'll find R on her card, too. I've been telling her to rest for months.
You need it more than she does, that's how...
Now, Dora, now. Don't be bitter. Let's have the lunch. And we'll eat a picnic basket in the morning, too.
About yesterday. I guess I was rather foolish.
About everything?
No, not about everything.
Is that a scar? What happened?
An accident. When I was a kid.
Was it your father? I heard those horrible stories, but I always thought it was small-town gossip.
When he was upset, he used to lock me in an ice house.
That's horrible.
That was when he was feeling kind.
I heard he nearly killed you.
Town history. I came home from school one day. He was drunk, as usual. Beating my mother. I tried to stop him. Hit me with an axe handle. Broke my arm. Doc got me to his office. Saved the arm. A week later, my father had a stroke. I never saw him again. End of story.
I'm sorry for you.
Feel sorry for him.
No, I only feel sorry for people I like. Is there someone in St. Louis?
Nobody that matters.
A nurse?
When you're an intern, there's
Always a nurse.
And you?
Oh, yes. There is someone.
Who?
Definitely someone.
Who? Remind me to thank Doc for keeping you here in Greenfield.
Remind me to thank him.
You know how much I owe him?
Did he send you to med school?
My mother's insurance money. But everything else he gave me. Food, clothing, encouragement, hope, ideals, everything. Look how I'm paying him back.
You just read too many mystery stories.
In St. Louis, most doctors won't even make house calls. And Doc out till after 2 in the morning, just in case Essie Bullett's mother might be sick.
Can you hear?
No, what?
She's dead. Didn't Doc tell you?
No.
She died early this morning.
On Moonlight Matinee.
The prophet Jeremiah lived a long time ago, my friends. But we see it today. Destruction upon destruction. We see it each time we open up a newspaper. Each time we turn on our TV. For the whole land is spoiled. And then we look around this town of ours, my friends. Here there is peace and order. Fine relations between neighbor and neighbor. Man has not killed man here since longer than most of us can remember. A beautiful town. A law-abiding town. You may say that is our good luck. What happens in other places, that is their bad luck. Well, I say no. I say there is a God who watches over all. For my people is foolish. They have not known me. God sees all. He rewards the good and the evil. The sword of the Lord shall devour them.
Amen.
Essie, I can't tell you. Sorry.
Oh, I know, Jim. She complained, but we never believed her. That's the terrible thing. We should have gotten her to Doc months ago.
Hadn't he seen her before the other night?
About a year ago. Last regular checkup. Come on, honey, let's go home.
Come by for coffee sometime.
Sure.
You're doing it again. You're making something out of nothing.
He said he's been telling her to rest for months. How could he do that when he hasn't seen her for almost a year?
He's not a city doctor, Jim. When he makes house calls, he also drops in on people. He does it all the time.
You think I want him to? Come on. Morning, Elias.
Yeah, morning, Jim.
Excuse me for intruding again, Ruth, but there's something I need to ask Elias.
About tags again?
No. About what you do when somebody dies.
Who, me?
As constable.
Oh, well, nothing. Doc makes out a certificate and gives it to the town clerk.
What if it's a suspicious death?
Well, Doc's the regional medical examiner. He'd report it to the state pathologist. Never been a suspicious death, though. Doc knows what people die of.
And if he doesn't, why, he invents something. Now then, how would you and Jim like to come along on the picnic with me this afternoon, huh?
I'd love to.
Very good. Meet my place about 2 o'clock. Now, young man, I have something I want to show you. Will you come along? Took a lot of talking to get it built. A lot of doing and a lot of talking, believe me. I believe you. What do you think of it? Beautiful school. Greatest thing that ever happened to the kids in this town. And Lloyd Zachary spent 20 years of his life trying to keep it from happening.
Doc, how could you tell Essie's mother to rest when you hadn't seen her for almost a year?
You haven't seen the gymnasium yet. Come along with me.
Doc.
Huh?
You haven't answered my question yet.
What question?
Essie's mother. How could you tell her to rest when you haven't seen her for over a year?
I'm getting tired of these games.
I'm sorry, Doc. Certain questions have been raised, and unless you can answer them, I'll have to take them to somebody else.
What do you know about being the only doctor in a one-doctor town, huh?
That has nothing to do with
it. It has everything to do with it.
Now, Doc,
no, you just let me finish. In a town like this, Doctor, you get involved with all your patients. It's the wife, the husband, the children, the sweetheart, the friend. All of them are tied in with each other. All of them are involved with each other, so you get involved. And everything matters, everything. In a gymnasium like this, when it's full of kids, why, it's like a greenhouse full of opening flowers. And you delivered every last one of them, and their mothers and their fathers, too. Never having time for a vacation, never caring. Because every day's a day when one of them wants you.
I'm sorry, Doc, but I have to see Elias Hart.
What for?
Essie's mother. An autopsy.
You'll be making a fool out of yourself.
I hope so. Elias wasn't home. He'll be back in an hour. Doc?
You're still going to ask for that autopsy?
What else can I do?
You could stay out of my files. That's what you can do.
I wish I had.
You'd have a perfect garden. Why not a perfect town? Tell me that. Why? When a vicious old woman is destroying a family, and a Lloyd Zachary and a George Suggs are causing harm.
Doc, there were other ways of dealing with them.
Other ways? For 20 years, we tried to deal legally with Lloyd Zachary and get ourselves to school. 20 years, and he blocked it every time. And 500 kids were denied the kind of an education they're entitled to get. So who misses him? Nobody. Not a darn soul.
What harm did Rudy's child ever do?
That was a tragedy, not a child. She couldn't respond or react or lift a finger voluntarily. Rudy thanked God when she died. And so did everybody else.
They thanked God when they should have thanked you. I don't understand.
I'm not asking you to.
What about your conscience? Doc, how do you live with it? Hasn't it ever bothered you?
Often.
And why?
You make a choice. Often it's a painful one.
Did you choose Jane's father?
Yes. That was the most painful. He's a fine person. A good friend.
Did he get suspicious?
Yes. He came around asking questions. I don't expect you to understand.
Understand what? That it's all right to remove people just because they interfere with what you think is perfect? Doc, how many? How many have you removed?
Why don't you ask me of all the lives I've saved? Ask me about that first, huh? Ruth Ward with her broken back and Len Crawford with his lung half eaten away.
Doc, it's not relevant, and you know it.
No. I only know one thing. This is the healthiest, happiest town in the whole state. Maybe in the whole country. Maybe in the entire world. It might very well be.
Not for Lloyd Zachary.
Lloyd Zachary gave up his right to health and happiness when he deprived those 500 kids of a decent education.
That's not for you to decide. How many, Doc? How many? All together.
Oh, go ahead. Keep quizzing me, grilling me. Boy, this is really something.
How many, Doc?
Talk about poetic justice. This is unbelievable.
All those poisons leave traces. Everybody who died can be disinterred.
It was you who started it. You. 29 years old and righteous. It was you who started it.
What are you talking about?
All right, your arm. Your horribly shattered arm. You still carry the scars in your drunken hulk of a father. What do you think he died of? Your secret wishes?
Cerebral hemorrhage.
He died of my bottom shelf. He was number one, the first, the beginning.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. You remember the other beatings he gave you? Why, he'd have killed you before you were 12 years old. I couldn't take it any longer, not after I saw what he did to your arm. So, yes, I cut him down. Now you've grown straight, and you're a doctor, and you're back in your hometown, and you're poking into my files, and you're quizzing me. And you're going to call in the police because you think it's wrong for me to kill. But never in haste, Jim, never in anger. Only after months, sometimes years of weighing, deciding, fighting it. Those were hurt people. They were hurt for so bad and for so long they could only finally hurt other people. They were in pain, terrible pain, without hope, and draining the life out of everybody they came in contact with.
So, you weeded them out.
Every doctor does, more or less. When it's a Ruth Hart, you break your neck to save her. When it's Lloyd Zachary, you don't. You wait. You just wait till you're out on your own. Your little town practicing medicine. With your own patient, no resident peeking over your shoulder. You make choices, difficult choices. You're torn inside, but you have to consider what's best for the town.
Doc, I owe you so much. I don't mean my father. The garden is your garden, not the town, Doc, and it ends at the river.
Oh, but...
Please, Doc, let me finish. Maybe it sounds crazy, but because of what I owe you, and because I still love you, and because the dead are dead, I'm not going to say anything. On one condition. You'll retire. You're through practicing medicine. That's it. I'll take over some other doctor. It doesn't matter, but not you.
What happens to the town? What stops it from going to seed?
Gardens go to seed, Doc. Towns muddle through. I want the key to that cabinet.
I don't have much choice, do I?
No.
Maybe I should have chased you home all those times your mother said I should, huh?
It might have been better for both of us.
No, I don't think so, Jim. Not for you. You've done pretty well. Maybe not for me either. I don't suppose. I guess I'm really relieved it's all over. Oh, you don't have to worry. It's the right key.
Doc, I'm sorry, really I am.
Don't be sorry. You spoke your piece, and I spoke mine. So it's all settled. A garden in the garden, period. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to go on that picnic and forget what's happened the past couple of hours.
Doc, you sure?
All I'm sure is I'm a tired old man. I don't want to be hated.
I don't hate you, Doc.
I'm really glad of that, Jim. Really am. So it's all settled. You go on up ahead and change, and we'll leave just as soon as she gets here.
Sure you want to do this?
Well, sure. Doris fixed a beautiful basket for us. We can't just leave it sitting there on the kitchen table. Go ahead, Scoot. Go on. Oh, Jimmy. I'm really glad you don't hate me.
Now return to Dr. Cook's garden on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Cold lemonade. You're younger than I am. You carry the basket, huh?
Just wait for Jane.
Only she called while you were upstairs. Said she's running a little late and she'll meet us at Putnam's Rock. Come on.
Whoops. Just about to ring, Doc. Mrs. says you were looking for me, Jim. Says you were pretty upset about something.
Well, yeah. But it's not important, Elias.
You don't talk to this boy, Doc. Mrs. says he was all white and shaken.
Oh, I think it's too much of this fresh country air. Say, as long as you're up here, come on down the terrace. I want to show you something. I'll see you in the car, Jim.
It was that azalea bush, Doc. I was planning on taking it out today.
Uh-huh.
And we've done about all we can for it. I think maybe it was getting too much lime. You think it's too close to that wall, maybe?
Well, might be. You've had others there before, and they seem to thrive.
Yeah, I don't know. I know sometimes they just develop certain characteristics.
Using the new topsoil? Elias, it's about Jim. I didn't want him over here. I love that boy, you know, and I'm worried sick about him.
Oh, well, what's wrong?
Well, you said he was white and shaking.
Well, I saw the missus, not me.
Did she say anything about his speech being jumbled?
Didn't mention it. Why?
Well, we were talking here, you know, just before you arrived, and all of a sudden he had sort of a cerebral vascular disturbance. Speech became all jumbled and meaningless, and he wasn't aware of it at all.
Well, he's tense, Doc. I can see that, but, I mean, gosh, he looks so damned healthy.
Well, I'm probably just being foolish, but, you know, his father died of a cerebral hemorrhage, and he had exactly the same symptoms the day it happened.
He's so young, Doc. Is that possible?
Oh, he's waiting. Well, I'm sure I'm just being foolish. He's going to be all right. Forget what I said, huh?
Well, sure, yeah.
Like a picture postcard.
Perfection. Town, people.
Wonder what they'd say if they knew.
Don't delude yourself. They'd thank me. Plenty of them.
Some would, I guess.
No, everybody, the whole town.
And they'd be wrong, Doc.
Why? Because that's what you've been taught since you were 2 years old? They'd be right.
There are courts and judges.
Not enough justice. Look at St. Louis, where you just came from, or New York or Chicago. Look over there, no further away than Davistown or Hardwick. And look down here, Greenfield. Many years, Jim. Many years of shaping, pruning.
You can't play God, Doc.
Let's eat.
Return to Bing Crosby in Dr. Cook's garden.
They told me to be here at 2. It's only 5 of.
Maybe they forgot.
That doesn't make any sense. They couldn't both forget. Didn't Jim say where they were going?
Now, listen, Janie. Doc had other things on his mind. And poor Jim. Well, I just hope Doc was wrong. That's all I can say.
Wrong about what?
Ham for you, bologna for me.
Why don't we split them? 50-50.
No, you like ham, ham's what you get.
You and Dr. Frankenstein. Attacked by your own creation.
I never created you, Jimmy, you know that. If I've helped a little along the way, why, I'm still glad. I'm still proud.
There's nothing wrong with Jim. Doc said that. It must have been because...
Because of what?
Where did they go?
Going on a picnic is all I know. State Jim was in may do him a world of good.
I don't know. I don't know what to think. Maybe Jim is sick. I don't know. But we've got... All I know is that we've got to find them.
Still amazing.
Hey, butter, no mustard.
Still remember.
A lot of things I remember, Jimmy.
I think I ate too fast.
So bright. Let's get you out of the sun. Come on, over under the tree. Probably a little indigestion. Good thing I brought my bag. I'll be right back. You all right, Jim? Yeah. I'll be right back. fast-acting poison, Jim. Faster than most. You'll go into convulsions soon, and then into a gradual paralysis. Then you'll die. The antidote's here in my bag. Don't move, don't move. It's there. First a shot of sodium nitrate, then a shot of sodium thiosulfate, and then amyl nitrate for inhalation. Now, please, stop. I don't... You forced me into doing this. Jim, I don't enjoy doing it. You're like a son to me. What am I supposed to do? Let you come into town here and ruin all the work I've done? All the time and effort and love and labor I've put into it? That's the worst. That's the worst, Jim. It's the strongest, and it'll get weaker.
Go away. I won't come back. I won't tell anybody. I swear.
I can't take your word for it. Can't you see that? What I'm hoping and praying is that you have something that you don't want to have told.
Something?
No. I need the security so I can forgive you and trust you and give you the antidote. Can't you tell me something? Did you try drugs when you were in the hospital?
No.
Did you sell anything? Did you steal anything?
I took...
You took what?
Stole drugs from a hospital dispensary for a friend.
When?
It was for girlfriend last spring.
Why?
She's desperate. She's on the hard stuff. She died.
Is that the truth? Is that the truth, Jim?
There's proof. A letter from her brother. He's gonna blame me. Have it with me.
Have it with you?
I'm not. In my suitcase. I lent my room to a friend. I was afraid he'd see it.
Where in the suitcase?
Side pocket. Side pocket, blue. Envelope. Doc.
Don't worry, you're gonna be all right. Takes more than a little sandwich to dispose of a character like you.
Here's Straight Answers.
We now return to Dr. Cook's garden on Moonlight Matinee.
No, don't try to walk. Just wait for me. There, lean on me, Jim. There we go. This door is off today, so we're safe. I'm glad you told me what you did, Jim, so I can spare you. Seeing you die would have been unbearable. Got to be merciful to the crew, but sometimes you don't have much choice. You know what we're going to do now?
What?
Wash out your stomach. Not essential, but... Let me tell you something, Jimmy. You may think I don't worry, but I do. I'm human, you know. I'm not God. I have my emotions. How you doing?
Better.
What I mean is, there's a strange element that enters into killing someone, even when it's done for valid reasons. You have an uncomfortable feeling after you finally made the decision and carried it out. There, just sit there a minute. You know what I mean? I've always hated killing. Hated everything about it. If I didn't, I would have killed you, right? I could have just stood there watching you gasping and sweating and never giving you a chance to save yourself, but I didn't do that, did I? Well, you're looking a lot better. Here, just keep sniffing on this, huh? I'll get things ready. Do this to a 3-year-old the other day. Swallowed some furniture polish. Took 3 of us to hold him down. How you feeling now?
Pretty weak.
Well, you keep sniffing that ammo. I'll be out in a second.
this is Jim. Is Elias there?
Elias called me from Doc's house. Didn't he see you? He said you were upset.
Something happened. I have to talk to him. Is he there?
No, he isn't here. If you had any sense, you'd learn to relax.
Ruth, please.
This isn't the big city, Jim Tennyson. It's a quiet town where people...
Listen, Ruth. It's important. It's about Doc. You need help, Doc. I have to find Elias.
I'll show that letter.
There's no letter. There were no drugs.
You filthy liar!
Hart. Real. In my office. The cabinet. Nitroglycerin. Quick. It's real. Oh. 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 Hurry, Jimmy. Two of them, quick. Jimmy, please. Jimmy, I can't help it.
Doc?
Jimmy, help me, please.
Doc, I think that's what I'm doing.
Oh, Jimmy. Little Jimmy. You see how it begins.